If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Lawful Stupid just jumped over. First of all, it's free, and we love that. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, wherever you're at, on the go. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you. There are a lot of other vendors out there, a lot of platforms that they will make sure your podcast gets to, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with zero minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Last time on Lawful Stupid, you guys come across the land bridge. Towering over you is one intimidatingly scary brown bear.
Lucian is like channeling this necrotic energy through his hand into this bear's face.
He turns and he runs away.
Where are we going again? Oh, back to town. Right.
Purified that lake. That was neat.
Yeah, and we've got the gnome here to tell our story.
Yeah, well, shoot, I'll tell you what, it's been one heck of a ride. You make it into Junga, and you see that none of the lights in the rest of town are on. Oh, shoot, today's the election.
William uses disguise self and turns into Mayor Shankta. I am a charlatan. I have been pouring poop water on this town for weeks.
Everyone in the entire area begins to clap. Congratulations, everyone. You have passed the test again. This was to see how you cooperated with Brice, your field agents, and how you did when you were out in the field. And poof, you're back in your room.
Welcome back. So glad you all made it in one piece. If you can meet me in the debrief room, we'll make sure to get some good snacks and talk about your trip.
William. You successfully completed your first mission with your crew, and you've made it back to the K&G headquarters, and now it's time for your own bit of downtime. So,
excellent.
What do you want to do first?
Out of pure obligation, William will go teach a class so he can like mark that off his checkbox and be like, cool.
So when you say teach, what you didn't know is that you're actually like a teacher's assistant.
Okay, you say what you want to say. Well, we'll see how William reacts.
Okay, and so what we'll do is you'll know when you get up in the morning. There's a pad that you've been instructed. You've gotten. It kind of helps you navigate the K&G headquarters because it can be a little bit confusing at first. Going up to the school and kind of the grounds around there. And so you pull up your Palm Pilot item, and it directs you up to where you're going to be at the morning for your first morning.
Have I met the teacher to this class?
No, you have not. So, and you're showing up, I think, a little early, so you can get some FaceTime and kind of know how things are going to work, and go from there.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I show up to this class. I show up early. Is anybody in this classroom?
No, and I don't think anyone's here yet. The teacher's there, and you see there is a man. He's got short brown hair. It's combed to one side, gelled, very neatly gelled, and he's wearing a sweater vest with the K&G logo on it, and there is a V above the K&G logo, and he's got glasses on as well, and a beard. But he seems like he's very approachable as he's flipping through at a podium. Seems to be some notes that he's going through.
Yeah, I approach him and say, does my Palm Pilot have the name of my professor?
Yeah, it says Favreau, politics professor. World politics professor.
World politics professor. Okay, cool. So I approach and say, excuse me, sir.
He turns and kind of pushes his glasses up, and he says, you must be William.
Oh, yes, and your name?
Oh, I'm Professor Favreau. You could just call me Favreau. Come on in.
Yes, of course. I do see. I think there's a mistake here.
Okay.
On my Palm Pilot.
Yeah, and he takes it and he looks at it and says, I don't see the problem, William.
Did you see where it says Professor there?
Yes, me, Professor
Favreau. Yep. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird way to typo, William. I think we should get that fixed.
Oh no. Correct me if you just got back from your first mission, correct?
The play, yes, the shit play, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the shit. This season's mission is just happens to be the rotations. It's not a great one.
Some would say it's shitty, yes.
So you're actually just an assistant for a while when you come on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to jump right in. Yeah, I know it's like you've already got a job you're doing, and so it's like you're pulling double duty. I apologize for that. I don't make the rules.
That rank 5 on your chest might give a different impression. But okay, boss. What is it you'd like me to do? You want me to write your name on the chalkboard or hand out
chalkboard?
some
We don't.
leaflets?
I don't have a chalkboard. It's. We've moved on. We got rid of those because beating the erasers takes up a lot of time. You have to pull students away, and it's not good for the environment.
Oh, I just beat this dude. No, it's fine. What do you need me to do?
So I just need you to, be here for support, see how I do things in the classroom, and maybe do some handouts for me. We're going to be grading some papers, but I want you to be prepared, take over. This notebook I have here, and he shows you the notebook. He kind of flips through. He's like, everything you need in here to take over is kind of there. So we'll be working on a program, you and I, to swap back and forth, so that you can begin teaching probably by next semester, I would hope.
Yeah, no, this afternoon sounds great.
No, not this next semester.
Oh, the language barrier, clearly. I apologize.
William,
Favreau?
And he's like, William, we gonna have some problems?
I don't think so. I feel like we're getting off to the best start, best of friends. I mean, look at such a wonderful sweater vest you've got on, and those glasses. I mean, nobody pushes glasses up like you, boss.
How tall is William again?
He is just under 6 feet. I think he's like 5'11".
Okay,
that's
so
what's on his sheet.
You guys are eye to eye as he kind of looks at you and he says,
and we're like 6 feet away from each other right now, like because we're not
and wearing
close.
masks.
No, well, I mean 6 feet's just a number in my head, but okay.
It's you're each other's distance away from each other if you were to lay down on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
I just picture dominoes falling and standing up. He says, William, I've been doing this game a long time, and I may look very unassuming, but I don't want you to confuse my look, my nerdiness, for not having great power.
Attractiveness? I wasn't going to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, no, yeah, no power. Yeah, got you.
Okay. And he says, let's just do this. You just follow my lead, and things will be okay. And I want the best for you, Wilm. I'm not your enemy. But I can't.
Great, I didn't realize. Well, okay, threatening the
not threatening
on the first day. Weird.
He looks at your he looks at your shirt and he goes and he says, "You don't even have your rank on today. Did you forget that?"
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't forget it. It just clashes with my suit.
Okay, well that
do I need to display
matter.
my rank? That seems a little elitist.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
it is.
Great. I pull the little pen out of my inner pocket and place it so gingerly on my suit jacket. Is that better?
It looks better. It looks good on you. And by the way, it's a very nice suit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Anyways, would you like a cup of coffee or anything?
Do you have blackberry brandy?
And so he kind of perks up and he goes, "Okay, maybe we will get off to a better start." And he from under his desk, he pulls a very exotic bottle of blackberry brandy. He says, "This is from my motherland. It's to the northeast of here. very special brand of blackberry brandy. You tell me what you think. And he says it's Mapelli Special, and he pours it into a shot's worth. And
have I heard of Mapelli Special?
Yes, you know it because you love blackberry brandy. It's like it's very, very expensive. Maybe you've had it once or twice, but it's very rare and very expensive.
Perfect. I look at it, I gracefully take it, and just the tiniest of sips. You said a shot glass worth? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like, you got 2 fingers in there.
And just the tiniest of sips, and just swish it around. Then I swallow it. You're a man of good taste. Looks at his sweater vest. Finishes my drink. I think we're going to get along great.
Absolutely. Well, and there's a bell that goes off, and he says, well, better put this away. And so he puts it away. He says, today we're going to be learning about, we're just talking through the basics. And I've read your sheet. You're pretty well versed in politics as is. And so I don't think you're going to have a lot of trouble catching on and taking over. It may even be before next semester. But today we're talking about the old wars between Valfold and Taggart and sort of the history of why they started. So,
all right.
Sound good?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and so he kind of moves back around behind his desk. His podium is off to the left of that. The students begin filing in. They're very young. Very young. They look like Lucian. They're all very young. And they come in.
Got it. 12-year-olds. Check.
Take their seats at their desks. And they're all kind of just wide-eyed, staring around. And he says, everyone, welcome to your first day in world politics here at the university. I want to introduce you my assistant professor here. And then he gives you to take the floor to introduce yourself.
I stand up and I say, you can call me William.
And he does like a clap. And so they just mimic that clap. And he says, welcome. Thank you, William. And so William will be my assistant professor. So I will take, after hours if you have any questions. And there will be a period of time that William will as well. That's a weird sentence to say. William will as well. Anyways, and some of the kids snicker.
Say it 3 times fast.
William will as well. William will as well. William will as well. And so they begin to kind of snicker. And he why did I... Anyways, everyone pull out your books. Today we're going to be talking about one of the oldest, most well-known love stories / battles in our history. And so he will... I'm just going to quickly give that to you so you can gain the knowledge from that as well. And then we can move on to another scene. So he will tell you... Valfold and Taggart are on the same continent. Valfold was once run by a king. You know it now to be run by a council of magi, and that's what the world kind of knows it now as the council of magi. What happened there was the king of Valfold was in love with the daughter of the king of Taggart. And they had been warring for a long time, and he wanted to seek peace because he wanted her hand. The daughter was not interested, but the father, the king of the daughter, saw an opportunity. And so what he did is he kept having the daughter lead this king on. And so there were some visits every now and then, and the daughter would always ask for more things, more money, more supplies for her city, and he would give it just without even really considering how it affected his own town. And eventually it came to a point where he had almost given everything in this kingdom, and his own people were suffering, and his armies were suffering. And that is when the daughter, gave word to her father that it was time to strike. And so the king of Taggart did so and basically brought the city to a ruin. And the council of magi who were there at the time were able to bring enough forces together, not to really do any damage to the forces of Taggart, but repel them enough to get the city back on its feet over the next, 20 or 30 years. And so they decided that no longer would one man decide the fate of their kingdom, that it would be a group of people who had the city's best interest in mind. And so they became the Council of Magi. And so that's kind of the history you get there. I don't know if you have, so the class leaves, after they've had their questions and that kind of thing. And he says, well, how'd you think it went?
Well, I think that's not the worst retelling of the honeypot of Valfold, but I suppose it's one way to teach it. Dry and to the point. I like it.
And at that time, an elf girl walks in. She's wearing just some basic robes. It looks like another teacher's assistant. She says, "Oh, hello." And she hands a note to Favreau, and he opens it up and he says, shoot, William, would you do me a favor? You just saw the lesson go down. Could you kind of head up the next class? I told you you couldn't do it till next semester, but I've got some business that I'm needed for currently. Could you do this next class for me?
Yeah, Judge. Okay. Just the way you did it, right? Like, dry and to the point.
Your own flavor. You get it. It's kind of just the same information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I'll be back as soon as possible.
Take your time.
It'll be fine. And so he leaves, and so you're at his podium, and students begin to shuffle in. And they all sit down, and again, they are wide-eyed and staring at you.
Yeah, so as these students are shuffling in, I'm going to use Prestidigitation to play Thunderstruck in the background. And so when they all sit down, I cease that sound, and so this is a totally different class, right? But it's the same class, but different student set. Okay,
correct.
Cool. So what is the title? World politics. And so I look on this magic board behind me, which is technology. Yeah.
Yes.
This says world politics. Does it have like the lesson title up there? That's like Valford, the War of Valford, or whatever.
The War of Love is what it's called.
Okay, the War of Love. Got it. Okay, so I'm going to boy howdy. I'm going to use Minor Illusion, and I'm going to replace or superimpose over that, and I'm going to put drinking in politics just over the top of that.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, well, welcome, students. You're all granted a gift for Professor Professor Favreau has dismissed himself, and he wanted me to teach you about the old honeypot of Valford. But I'm a little more practical in nature, and well, if you're all going to be politicians and you're going to teach people and wine and dine, you need to know the important bits. And the most important bit of politics is not history, no. Details, semantics. It's being drunk, but not being drunk. You've got to drink, but still be about your wits, because there's nothing better than someone who's drunk and off the game, spilling secrets like they shouldn't. That's how it all works, really. Just a little alcohol. And anyone who says, I don't drink, don't trust them. They're assassins or cowards. Possibly both.
Mr. Willie, I don't drink.
Okay. Are you an assassin?
No.
You, sir, to the left of him, hit him with your fist.
And he, kind of just, barely taps him.
Harder.
A little harder.
Okay, he didn't run. So he must be both. Security!
These kids just look around. Some are flipping through pages, trying to find,
don't worry about your manuals. That's boring. You've all come here to learn the most important trade in the world, which is deception. Which is schmoozing the elite. And if I told you the most important thing, other than being drunk and not being drunk, it's that it's all bullshit. The rules don't matter, and whoever has the most money and power is in charge. So it's important to trick those people and do what you need to do, or what the K&G needs you to do, with as little backlash and fallout as possible, especially towards me.
And so these kids all look at you, and what I'll have you note is these kids, this school is all a front, so they don't know what the K&G is. They think it's just literally a school. It is a school, essentially, but it's just it is the front. So they don't know about the K&G because they're not recruited. So when you say that, they just... By that. I know, so I think it's so funny. And they're just look, they're intrigued now because the first part was kind of and then the second part, it's all BS, is very good to them.
Well, listen, it's in every country has either a council, a king, a monarchy, a diplomacy of some kind, and it's important that you know that it's all just bullshit, really. It's all just words and agreement and ink on paper, and honestly, as much as I love the game, it's bullshit. So it's important that you understand how to play the game, and I cannot stress enough, in all the classes I've taught on this, drinking is the most important bit. First of all, drinking is delicious. Second of all, there's nothing better than a good drink and then, conning someone out of the information they need.
And so you went over the honeypot part, and then you kind of troll off into this part too, and the bell rings for class to end, and they're all just sitting. They don't move. They're just staring at you.
Okay, well, it's important that you remember this. If I were to give you anything else, tomorrow, when Professor Favreau asks you what you learn, you say, nothing important. You read that stupid book in front of you about the love story, the honeypot of Valford, and just recite that dry story back to him. Don't tell him anything I said to you.
You got some nods. And they're like, oh, okay. And then
I'm gonna cast fog cloud to fill the whole room with a fog, and then I'm gonna sneak out.
Okay, and you do. Wait,
is that bottle of brandy still here?
Yes.
I pour another shot, then I sneak out.
Okay, you do.
Perfect.
We'd like to take a minute to thank the Video Game Timeline Show for sponsoring this episode of Lawful Stupid. If you love podcasts, and we know you do because you're listening to this, and you love video games, and you probably do because you're listening to this, we'd encourage you to go and check them out. Our friends from the Southwest UK, Jack and Evan, do a great job of making video game history fun to listen to. Their lighthearted conversation will take you through the entire history of video games. They talk about ratings for the games as if they were in the time, and compare them to today's releases. Lastly, from time to time, they have on some cool guests and show some unique insights into the world's largest entertainment industry. I listened to a few episodes that they've recommended and was not disappointed at all. And as Americans, we all understand that accents make everything better. Check out their podcast today, especially their Space Invader episodes as a start. And after that, I'm sure you'll want to go back and listen to their backlog as well. So check out the Video Game Timeline Show today. You can find them at all major podcatchers, and we'll also add a link to their podcast on iTunes in our show notes. Once again, that's the Video Game Timeline Show. Go subscribe today. Throughout the day, you hear people talking about this class, like as you walk around. And they don't they know the name but not the face, so I don't know how you feel about that.
Okay, so I hear somebody, that guy sounds really grounded. Sounds like he has a lot of experience. Was it a good class then?
Oh, I don't know. My friend was in it, but I heard that guy's probably going to get fired. But it sounded really, I wish I would have been there. It sounded really cool.
I've heard of that Professor Favreau. Sounds like he's had a little bit of the drink,
Professor Favre? Oh, I gotta tell my friends about this.
Yeah.
Politics 101, baby.
Yay.
Okay, cool. As you do that, so I think the next thing you do is you wanted to find somebody kind of what we would call important, who's has a pretty important role at KNG. And I think we won't do the conversation
myself, of course. Yep.
There's just mirrors everywhere, just a mirror room. He dies there. I think we're not going to do the conversation with Misery, but I think she tells you about a fellow who would be willing to talk to you just because he's not so high up that he's inaccessible. Mm-hmm. And his name is his code name, and so this is for Tex. His real name is Jeremiah Stonebreaker, but his code name is Cain. And Misery says, "Oh, you can go and talk to Cain. He's a very interesting fellow, to say the least."
All right. You know what they say when they say interesting fellow, it's never a good thing, is it?
Well.
Crap. I go find Cain.
with your accesses now and your Palm Pilot there, it tells you you need to go down like 4 or 5 stories below this ground floor. You haven't been yet. There's a couple ways to do that. You can take stairs, or you can take an elevator.
Well, I'm not taking the stairs, so elevator, please.
Yep, great. So you are allowed to go down to the floor that you have requested, 5 floors down. And so you get down to that part, and when the doors open, there is just like dead silence. And there's this hallway, and there are a series of lights that are shining from the ceiling onto the ground in circles. The circle of lights don't touch each other, but they're spaced far enough where you can see, as you walk between them. And you notice there are cells on either side of this hallway. And it seems to lead a pretty long hallway, but you can see at the end of the hallway there's a large circle room that has lights in it. And there appears to be a large individual sitting in a chair, looking at some sort of screen with a lot of numbers and things on it.
I approach. So are there people in these cells? Like, can I see them?
Yeah, so which one do you want to look in?
No, I don't. I just want to know if there's people in them. I want to know if they're empty or not.
So if you look in one, just you would see.
Cool.
There are some that are like painted black. You can't see into
Gross.
them. There's a couple that you look in that are empty. And there is one that has a person that is sitting in the corner, kind of like rocking back and forth.
Weird. All right, let's go to this security individual. I assume Cain.
Yes. And so you knock on the door, and he turns slowly, and you realize now that this is a Goliath. He stands about 7.5 feet tall. He's wearing like this massive armor, and he has like the largest broadsword you've ever seen. Kind of leaning up against this desk that's in this room, and he turns and he comes to the door, and he like turns a series of locks, and he opens it, and he says, "What can I do for you?"
I suppose that's a very valid question. I was sent here by Misery. She said you could be of some help.
I love Misery. She's quite the warm-hearted person. How would you like me to help?
Well, it's a very important request, but how can I be of service to you?
And he kind of looks up into just like almost nothing.
No,
you almost
down here.
You even look, and he slowly.
You don't
turns
see
his back
ghosts,
down.
do you?
I wish I didn't. Seen a lot of things I wish I hadn't seen.
Reflection or?
Huh?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Wait, how can I be of help?
Well, I guess the thing I need the most is help checking on the subjects from time to time. Just to be sure that, 1, they're there, and 2, that they haven't done something to themselves.
Okay. Yep. Real quick question. You said subjects, as in like testing them like guinea pigs, rats, rodents, mice, other things you don't care about?
No, we don't test the subjects, and honestly, I wish they weren't in the state they're in. I'm Cain. I don't know if I told you that. I'm Cain, but if Misery sent you,
nice to meet you. Yes, my name is William.
Nice to meet you, William. Here's my job. I maintain the assets that we find. So your first mission was Pooh Town. That's what I call it.
Yep.
With a giant rock that has water that never stops flowing into it.
The monthly floods, yes.
That's an asset. It's something that exists in the world that goes against the laws of nature, outside of magic, that shouldn't be here, and it has the potential to do real damage to people or the places people exist in, or just, the basic laws that hold the world together. So my job
once they've been studied by Dr. Ryan, is to catalog these things. Sometimes we get people in here, or items that have to have very specific conditions for them to be maintained in. Let me give you an example,
Yes,
because
please.
this one's pretty popular.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a brother named Abel.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually from before the blossoming. So you could say he and I are assets, really. While I seem to function pretty alright,
Where's yourself then?
well, not all assets are dangerous. Oftentimes we can release those things back into the world and just monitor from a distance, but
Sure.
there are some so dangerous that we can't risk that.
Mm-hmm.
But my brother, Abel, for whatever reason, after the blossoming, became so bloodthirsty and enraged. And I'll tell you this, I'm the runt of our family. My brother, he was set off, and I had to kill him when we first appeared in this time. And I was brokenhearted, and we buried him. But then about 6 months later, there was some news of a Goliath stomping around the southern Icelands.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing just that. Just making his way, just killing anything in his path.
Mm.
So I had to go find him again. And I had to kill him again. And for years, what I do now is I have to wait for my brother to wake up. And I have to kill him again. And again. And again.
Oh, it's a very, who's the real beast kind of situation.
Yeah, I was real sad about doing it the first time, obviously, but now it's just more annoying than anything. I'm wondering when Abel's going to wake up and I have to take a week of leave or something and, be away from my job.
Yeah, that sounds real fucked up, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, it's part of the job,
Like, I'm not sure who I'm more scared of. But anyways, you need me to look at these assets and just kind of check them off the list, check them twice kind of situation.
Well, we have several floors. The further down you go, and he kind of looks at the Roman numeral 1 on your shirt there.
It's a
I don't know.
weird
Do you still
way
have
for
it
a
on?
5. Oh no, I took that off as soon as the professor
So he looks for it. He goes, "What's your rank again?"
What's one below the maximum? So it's a quattro, yeah, a 4.
He's oh, I don't know the last time I've laughed.
Oh, yeah? Was it when you killed your brother? Because seems like there's a tipsy topsy thing going on
it's
there.
more tedious than anything now. I really wish that I could bring it back, and I'm hoping there's got to be some asset out there.
It's going to come back on its own, it seems. But I'm sorry, you were telling me what I need to do on the bottom levels?
Yeah, just check levels 1 through 5 beneath the headquarters are, set different assets. And so I'm going to give you a checklist if you can check them daily, kind of maybe monitor, take notes. You're doing basically some minor research on these things as we go. And that would just be a great help to me, just maintaining and knowing where they're at and what's going on.
Perfect. And so when we say assets, we don't necessarily mean people. It could be inanimate objects.
Yeah, and there's a workup on the front of all the doors, kind of what's going on, what to expect, so you're not just going in there blind. You'll have some other scientists running around checking, but they just kind of we have some bodies taking notes around the clock, and so you're not by yourself. You'll have some other people on the floor, but just been shorthanded recently.
Oh, that's a shame. All right, well, I suppose I'll get to work. And real quick, that's a big-ass sword. I kind of walk by him to go to the sword, unless he hard stops me.
No, he doesn't.
And then I push it over.
You try. It's so heavy that even as it leans, you can't push it over.
Then I push against it 2 hands, and I turn my back, and you push with your back, and I'm just squishing on my legs, and then I stop and I straighten my suit up and go, That's a big ass sword. And then I walk right out of the room.
Have a good... And the door shuts.
Okay. All right. Do I have this checklist with me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, 2 things. One, I go up to the one with the creepy person. Well, hold on. You remember the creepy rocking person?
Yes.
Do you tell me about? Perfect. For one, I cast Sky Self and I turn myself into Professor Favreau.
Okay.
And then I walk over to the creepy rocking person and I adjust my glasses and I say, hello, I have some questions for you.
And what you see is there is what looks to be a petite girl. She has long black hair that is covering her face. She's barefoot and she's like she's sitting in the corner with knees, and there's this bright light that is shining directly down on her, filling this room. And it's intense almost even for you, because I think you have to lift up, maybe this hole, or there's like something covering the window. You lift it up and light shines out. And she looks up, or her head at least looks up, and she kind of moves her head just a little bit so that you can see one eye peering at you, and it's like a bloodshot eye. And she just
at the
stares.
top of her little form here for her, does it say Ring Girl by chance?
No, but I did my best, so I'm glad that you caught that. Good.
Perfect. And then I look at her. Ma'am, it's very important that you just tell me a couple things. Are you there?
And she kind of tilts her head the other way, so now the other eye can see you. Except this one is completely black.
Ma'am, just a nodding or a shaking of the head. I'm going to need the positive or a negative.
She sort of like does like a motion to pop her neck, and she begins to sort of stand. And so what looked like a small frame begins to stand very, very tall in this room, and she like hunches over. And almost as swiftly as she can move, the eye is right in front of you, staring.
Oh, creepy. I don't like it. This is why you're single. Ma'am, do you think you would hurt yourself?
And then she, you can see her, sniff. And then she slowly
smell delicious.
backs away. And almost this tall figure gets smaller and smaller, to a normal size again, as she sits back down in the corner and drops her head again.
Okay. What does her name say on this little list here?
Yeah, so this is, it says KNG-803.
803. Perfect. Okay, 803. You are there. Check. You are not a threat to others. Check. You are definitely single for life. Check. I think that's enough for today. Oh, by the way, in case you're curious, I'm Professor Favreau, and you're ugly as sin. And then I walk away.
We'll put this as well as just a note about the SCP. So what you read on the sheet is that this is the Girl of Darkness is kind of the description there, and it says subject must be kept in bright luminescent lights at all time, can never be left in darkness, and then it talks about all of the fail safes that are in this. So the lights are changed every week. There are 4 of them, and there's a backup generator specifically for this room. So even if power went out, there's a generator that would kick on automatically with no break in the time. And that she was known to kill 4 people before she was captured and brought in to the KNG, and this was 10 years ago.
Okay, with that information in mind, I have one more thing to say. Oh, you look better in the dark. And then I leave. And then, as Professor Favreau, I go and do all my checks for the first floor, equally as annoying and abrasive to anybody who responds to him.
And the rest of those are not nearly as scary as that one was. Some of them are just items that seem to be sitting just on a shelf.
It's important you understand that I'm equally as annoying as Professor Favreau the entire time.
I understand.
Perfect. Great. Love it.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And so then the last thing, you kind of finish that shift up, turn your report into him, and he says, "Thanks so much for your help. I really appreciate your time." And it looks like, and he kind of flips through a checklist. He says, "You're only on for about once a month right now."
Oh, that's perfect. Well, if you just ever need me more, I'd be happy to check on some more things, make sure everybody's safe. Happy to do it.
Jeremiah.
Bless you.
No, sorry. That's my real name. Jeremiah Stonebreaker.
Oh, why do they call you Cain?
You know, out in the field, everyone gets code names. And so.
Oh, cool.
That's the one I got.
Cool. That's not very, it's not very spy of you to just go around and, hand out your name. But that's cool.
Well, to each other, it's
oh,
fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
We are the only family we have anymore. Unless you have a brother that you have to kill every 6 months, then that's the family you got.
I must have left them in my other pockets. But if you want to know my code name, it's Gale. It's a pretty cool one. So if you ever hear of Gale doing things.
Gale. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Kind of like an old lady. It's great. No one ever sees it coming.
I don't know. I think of like Nightingale, and I think about
you'd think
being in the shadows, and I think about kind of being on your own and being able to being like a survivor is what I think of.
Yeah, that's would have made way more sense, right?
Being super cool. Have you met Breeze? Man, that guy. We used to be old pals.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
He's really cool. You know why his name is Breeze? Because he comes as quick as he goes.
Just shoots the breeze.
Yeah, no, he's super cool.
Anyway, I suppose you got some getting to get on too. So
yeah,
it was nice to meet you, Gale.
Likewise. Yeah, William's fine. Gale's
William.
for the field,
okay. Friends call you William, but does that mean I'm your friend now?
I'd like to think so. It's
great.
Good of you to think we're friends. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, it's wonderful to meet you, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to ever say goodbye to people, so I'm just going to turn around now and go back to looking at my papers.
Same.
You're going to look at these papers too?
Yeah, I'm going to just turn around. But don't worry, just the whole time you're looking in the other direction, I'm behind you, looking in another direction. I'm here for you.
Yeah. Okay, well, bye. Okay, and then so the last thing you wanted to do is talk to the guy who recruited you, Dregs, the shaman, the representative of the Council of Magi.
Yeah, heard of him.
And so I think that he... where do you want to meet him at? Where do you think he would be? I'm kind of giving you kind of...
Is there a, like... so, like... The elements are, like, a thing, from what I understand. Is there somewhere that people like him go and pray and, like, do things like that? I'm going to meet him on his
there's, like, this generic kind of temple area where it's kind of understood that everyone here who has a faith is, obviously... In this world, all of the gods, no matter which one you do, are still kind of considered to fall under the umbrella. People, they're all like very real to everyone. So even if you said you represented a different god, you'd be accepted very much the same. There's not a whole lot in terms of different ways to worship them, other than you believe strongly usually in the one who created you, and everyone knows who created them as that god.
Cool. So let's go there. I want to find him there if possible.
Yeah, I think he has a routine. He's a very, very scheduled guy. He also has a very important job as a political liaison of sorts. So he's got a tight schedule to keep. And so you find out that he goes there right around sundown most days, for an hour or so.
All right.
And I think you catch him maybe as he's ending some prayer time and some study.
Perfect. I approach and I sit next to him.
And his eyes are closed. I think he's sitting down like on a mat, and he's cross-legged.
I sit next to him.
He's crisscross applesauce, and he breathes in. I did not need this today.
Who are you talking to?
And he kind of pulls the hood back, and I think we remind that he's a dark-skinned tiefling. He says, "You know what it is I talk of. Your presence merely is threatening to my auras."
Oh, that's a good point. But you don't have to be intimidated, friend. I came here of my own volition, just to kind of see some of the woo-woo stuff you're doing,
And he kind of waves a hand in front of your face, and he says, "Come out." And so Ashy is pulled from the pen.
Whoa, hey, here we like consent. You could have asked.
And she's sitting on a mat, but she seems very peaceful about it too. She's just kind of
say what you say. Consent is important.
Consent is important. I have convened with her before. I ask you if she could come out. She is here.
Oh, all right, perfect.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah, but it was kind of douchey, He could have just asked. He didn't have to yank on
William,
you. That's...
Look at me. William, look at me. You're a douche.
Yeah.
If anything, you should be proud of him.
No, listen, I'll do a lot of things, but I don't betray consent. I have a line. That's fine. Just give me some weird vibes. It's fine. Dregs, I came here, first of all. Still Dregs.
Still Dregs. Name has not changed. Still
there's
William.
No negotiating on that. It's like you don't have like a code name that's much, much, much cooler. Like Breeze, his code name is just
Dregs. Oh, Dregs is my code name.
Oh, great. What's your real name? Because that's my.
I will never tell you that.
Lara, okay.
Never will you get that name.
So you got Dregs because you like drag your feet?
Never gonna get it. Not this time. No.
No. Okay. Well, anyways, I just had a question. So, you seem to know more about Eshi than Eshi knows about herself. So, what do we do to unlock some more of those memories of hers? I point at her head,
and he looks over to Eshi and he says, "You seem to have a troubled past. Something that is very heavy on your spirit." And she says, I guess, I don't know. It's more like my memory is gone, and I don't remember why I am the way I am. I know I was a person. I know that I existed. I know that. Well, maybe that's it. And do you remember how you got with William? Yeah.
Sheer luck.
On who is lucky?
Oh, for me, I'm the lucky one. That poor soul has to deal with you. But that's neither here nor there.
He says, "Here's what I have heard. Long before the blossoming, there were a group of champions, and you've heard this story, perhaps. But the champions represented the 6 gods, all of which were created by Uni himself. And during the time of the champions, the reason they were called was there was a sickness called the Dragon's Curse. Because the gods could only exist on this planet, Norve Terra, in the form of dragons. Otherwise, their spirits, their presence was too powerful and would kill people, just even by being near it. And so they called upon champions to represent them, to go out to all the world and tell the people that the curse was not the fault of the dragons, but that they did not know what the fault was, or the reason for the curse. The curse was killing people who use magic, and magic alone. Warriors were not bothered. Fighters, no. Common people were not threatened. But any magic user who called upon the name of magic, the name of Uni or their gods, they were affected. And some who chose to keep doing their magic to heal those who were hurt, to fight on the front lines of the battles for such as Lawful and Taggart. Those individuals were cast into a deep sleep. But it did not kill them. It merely put them into a stupor. And those people were all placed together, and they were placed in the catacombs, and the catacombs were shut, and, well, sometime later, some of them came back, but a lot of them did not. And so the warriors, what happened to them? Well, that's the big thing. Nobody seems to know. But what I hear is that a few of the champions, specifically, were very powerful and made many sacrifices themselves to make sure that the dragons, the gods themselves, were saved, preserved. And some think the dragons still exist here today, although I don't think that's true. But Eshi here.
Are you a
Eshi
fucking
here,
dragon, Eshi?
Eshi is not
Breathe
a dragon.
fire.
No, I'm not. I almost tried it. You got me last time. I'm not doing that.
Okay, you can breathe fire. I've seen you do this. Okay.
I have abilities. I can't breathe fire.
But you make it look like it, and that's the important piece.
Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. Don't expect that from me. Anyways, you were saying? It seems that your friend here is trapped. Her soul is bound to some form of the element that she represents. Some giant token of Hephaestus. I don't know all the details, but I feel like if you could reconnect her soul to her body, you may find many more answers.
Okay, we've got to take you home. Alright, I like it.
That is the first noble thing I've ever heard you say.
No. Remember the part when I talked about you getting a better name? That for sure.
Leave him alone. Dregs is a cool name.
Okay, Ashley, listen. I get it. He can yank your spirit out of you, but he has no control over you. You don't let him bully you into this. It's not okay. But yes, we'll take you home. Question.
Dregs, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to him. But really quick question. These catacombs you mentioned, where are they?
I think that they have since gone far below sea level. I don't know that anyone has been there since... Well, there's no recorded history of anyone going there for a long time. It may not even exist. It may be a part of the story that people tell.
Okay, so...
no, it is interesting.
That's a problem. Or what did you call these catacombs other than catacombs? They have like a fancy name.
Several people called them the
catacombs of the champions.
Notes.
Champions catacombs. The immortal catacombs. The catacombs of the lost, the forever asleep, sleeping beauties catacombs.
The Z Central, the 19 Night, See You Never Again Mountains, Hold on, I will find this name.
No, it's weird. It just seems like you just had a little bit of a stroke, Dregs. I can keep giving you some names, like riffing off of your catacomb situation until you remember.
They're just called the catacombs right now.
Alright, perfect. I will go look that up in the I will have Eshi go look that up in a library for us.
Does Eshi have a library or a pen?
No, but does she has the ability to go do things without me?
That's true.
She is powerful, and also I'm not a nerd. Well, Dregs, I really appreciate the time. Sorry about this interaction in general.
No, please, feel free to crash in on my, spiritual time anytime.
No, I just meant it was a lot longer than I intended, so my bad.
Well,
so
okay. Eshi, it is always a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah, weird. Well, hey, good luck with the woo, and appreciate you. Thanks. Then I'm going to stand up and walk away.
You kind of see him like shake his head and kind of go back into some kind of final, like almost prayer posture.
And then as we're exiting that spot, I look at Eshi and I say, "Okay, now like you can't tell him that I said this, but like that's some good information he's giving us about like your past, and we can't fight in front of him so much. Like that's not good. United front." Okay.
You can't always mock everyone we talk to.
His
I know you
name
say
is
they're a jerk,
terrible.
they don't understand. Listen, I know you're intelligent, but sometimes it's about how you deal with people more than
Yeah.
like what you know. You know, like
No.
you're gonna get us better if you're nice. Honey and vinegar, that thing. I enjoy the wit. I get it.
I'm just saying. There's going to be a little trouble in paradise, and I don't know how to divorce the spirits. I don't know how to do that.
Well, listen here, Billy Boy. You're gonna have to deal
First
with
of
it
all,
until we figure
only
this
my
out.
mother calls me Billy Boy, and she is dead. Possibly, I'm not sure.
Well, she probably died to get away from you.
Okay, well, to be fair, you died to get away from me, and here we are.
She laughs because she actually laughs.
But for real, that was some good information.
It was really good information. I feel, I don't know, more hopeful than we have in the past.
Yeah, I think if we find the catacombs, or not, but it's good.
Somebody knows about those catacombs.
Right.
There's too much weird stuff in the world. I mean, like me, I exist in somewhere.
Yeah. You're totally not a figment of my imagination, which is great. I was real happy to learn that.
Well, you know, I don't know where to go next, but I'm very excited.
But real quick, you know, if you were a dragon, you'd have to tell me, right? Like that's
I'm not
rule.
a dragon.
Like you have to tell me if you're a dragon.
Okay, I'm a dragon.
Okay, great. Also, last thing, there's a thing about a curse, and if you do magic, you can get the COVID-19 juice if you're a magic user. That's not going to happen to me, right?
I think that was the old thing. I don't think that is a now thing.
Oh, good, you're right. I feel much better about it. And then I start casting like sparks and stuff in my hand. Great, still works awesome.
And you see her just like, she was kind of walking beside you, and as she gives you this like look, she just disappears. She's back in her bed.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right, and I think kind of the sun is set. You end the day. Did you drink that shot you had right away, or did you store it for later?
Absolutely. I drank that right away. Can't let that sit.
Yeah, you end the day, and you head back to your room. It's however, obviously, you know, you wanted to look for that day if you change some things up or not, but it's a good day. You've gotten a lot of information. You met a lot of new people. So, and that is where we will end.
I have one more small thing.
Yes.
I check in my room. Is there alcoholic blackberry brandy in my room?
There is now, but it's very low content.
Oh, well, it's better than
You'd
nothing.
have to drink a lot.
It's a good challenge. Well, at least it's not just bullshit now. Great. I'm very happy and have a drink. Light conversation with Eshi to end out my night.
I love it. That's where we're in the episode. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode. This is the second downtime we're doing after the first arc. Kind of the format we'll follow is as such. We'll do an arc, we'll do some downtime, we'll do a side mission, side quest the players choose. I'm trying to feed them some stuff during these downtime things. And I'll have a list of other things.
I love
And
it.
so we dropped this episode, and so we'll be dropping the next one in a couple weeks, kind of giving ourselves a break right now. And so that's why you're getting them in 2-week increments. And so that's that. Dwayne, what you got for him?
Hey, if you want to support the show, you can go to store.lawfulstupid.org. You can get yourself a t-shirt. You can get yourself some stickers. You can get yourself another t-shirt because you got have more than one. But no, seriously.
Oh, and don't forget stickers.
What?
Don't forget stickers.
You can get stickers. You can definitely get more than one of those. But seriously, the store really is just a small way to support us. But it's more about you having a piece of the show yourself. You having a little bit of logo. A little bit of the, these shirts are super comfortable. I'm not wearing one right now. I don't know why I look down, but I wear them all the time. They're very comfy. And it's always nice. You go out and people say, look, oh, that's a really cool logo. Or, what is that? And then I tell them, and then the Southerners around me quickly lose interest as I'm checking out at Lowe's. But that's neither here nor there. Store.lawfulstupid.org. You can have a little piece of our show with you.
That was very sad. Hey, what you can also do is, if you're cheap like me, you can just join our Discord and still have all of our fan base and people to talk to about the D&D, or there's a role playground that people just love so much, and that one's probably the most active channel of all in our Discord. But there's a lot of other things you can do. Talk about current video games people are playing. Baldur's Gate 3 is one I see in there. So yeah, have fun. You can join us at our Discord at discord.lawfulstupid.org. And so what we'll finish on is my good news story. I found this one. It goes, I had a Great Pyrenees who was the definition of gentleness. She could run full speed through a field of baby chicks and wouldn't harm a single one of them. One day I accidentally cut a guy off while driving. There's a big tree on the corner, and I looked as best I could, but I didn't see him. It was an honest mistake. This guy followed me home, a journey that took a good 15 minutes. I pulled up my drive, and my dog, as always, ran out to greet me. I got out of my car, turned towards the guy, and started yelling at him to get off my property. My dog became a terror demon, snarling, barking, and darn near choking herself on her own hatred for this guy. Threw his truck in reverse, took the heck off. My dog chased him to the edge of the property, came trotting back. So proud of her. She got many treats that night. You don't mess with a working dog's family. So it's good. This owner's dog helped keep a weird guy from attacking her.
Yeah, what that story doesn't tell you, and it's I hate the details. That was just like the ending of a very sad, like, divorced couple, right? Like, the guy was like chasing his husband, and then their mutual dog like picks a side and like barks him away, and forever their love was shattered, all because that dog wouldn't give him a second chance.
He's like, I'm just gonna drive up and try one more time.
One more time.
Give me a sign.
Got this.
Give me a sign.
Give me a sign, God.
Together or not.
And God goes, I got you one angry dog. I got you one angry pupper. And then the ex-husband thought, well, that's why I poisoned that dog's treats.
And all dogs are gonna have in the end. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. We love you. Bye.